to welcome you. We're going to, Cooper Suter is going to say a few words. He's been the true tip of the spear for this battle. I'm happy to join Cooper. Gary Batts is not with us, or another gentleman. And we really appreciate on such a short notice that everybody came out. It speaks well of our community, of our Y members, and both the whole Highland Terrace, or Highland Heights, and also of the Harvard Terrace. So
let's get Beverly and River Road in there. I mean,
so from us,
Crossgates, Wildwood.
We really appreciate it. I'd like to turn it over. We have a brief statement. We hope we can count on your support in the future for contacting the Y board, for possibly fundraising down the road. I wouldn't be an agitator if I didn't approach you and ask you for money, but that's way down the road, it sounds like. So again, thank you. If you can sign a sheet, we'll pass a sheet around if you want to remain in contact with us. Thank you. It's been going around, so please, we'll keep you informed of what we're doing. So I want to turn it over now to Cooper.
I'm, as you may or may not know, if you read the blade, I'm Cooper Suter. I live about a half mile from here, and I am a YMAX member, so I think there's some relevance. You're going to see me glance at notes. It's because a bunch of us' ideas are represented by what I say, and I don't want to misstep. So I'm going to go for it. You know, we're here because the announced closing of the YMCA. Our group has been seeking nothing more than an open discussion with the YMCA and the city officials, and to get to the truth of what's going on with the closing of this Y. We've had no real cooperation between the Y and the city officials in getting that meeting. We're here really at this point now to address the gap in trust that exists right now between Y members and the greater community and the Y board. We've gotten to that point because of the lack of communication, the lack of accountability, and unfortunately the excessive level of compensation that's going on within our Y board now. Because of the gap of trust, and because there's such lingering doubts now with Y members, our group has retained legal counsel. Our goal in doing that is to obtain the YMCA's detailed finances and to stop the transfer of this YMCA property away from our community. Our goals, I think, serve the public interest and the greater community. We've tried to do this without a legal system. We'd love to still get this done without the legal system. That's our request. But if we have no other choice and we keep facing this us against them mentality and the stonewall we have specifically from the Y board and their corporate officers, we will follow this up in the legal system. You know, 50 years ago, the community stepped up, they raised the funds, they built this Y. If the YMCA board chooses to walk away and close their operations, we're asking that the facility at least come back to the community. That's pretty much it for me.
Here.
I want to thank State Senator Feather for joining us. She's been the first elected official that got in touch with us and said it's time for officials to come off the sideline and pick a side on this. I don't want to speak for you, but she expressed how relevant it is to the community and the family. So, Senator Feather.
Thank you everyone for being here. I think it's very important that we, within 6 hours, got this amount of great people in the community, and it shows the strength of the South End. And I as a state representative representing 320,000 people, I talk about the South End all the time. We are the most promising neighborhood in all of Toledo when you think about it. With the University of Toledo and the Medical College come together, we have the strength to be the star among all of the neighborhoods in the city of Toledo. And I guess we need to remind many elected officials and even the South Y that we need to be given the chance, first of all, to keep the South Y that we have now, and for us to improve the abilities to even provide more. It hurt me deeply that it was indicated that we didn't have the wealth in the South End to even put together a campaign to build a new South End, and that really fired me up. I've been asking people everywhere I go what they think about the situation, and evidently within 50 days of voting in the state budget, and I voted as a senator for the state budget, and also really fought hard to keep those early childhood programs in the state. Within 15 days, a decision was made to close the Y and nobody knew about it. I believe that there are some smoke and mirrors and some planning that happened a long time ago that we in the South End didn't know about. So we want answers for the Y members, number one. We do have the wherewithal to say that the South End is worth saving and that we do want a chance. You know, we have humble beginnings. We had in the paper today Frank Fulkerson, who reminded us about the strength of the South Avenue and Broadway South Y. Started in a house in the late 1930s or early 1940s. So it started in a house. They were good enough to have a Y back then in a house. And then it moved to a storefront on Broadway and Orchard until the present Y was built in 1954. So certainly we can do what we need to do to stop this effort of taking away our Y, and we need to put the community back into the plan of how we're going to have a strong community and a strong Y. So with that, I've made the necessary phone calls. I've alerted all of my elected officials on where I'm going to stand, and I'm watching them. So if they really care about Toledo and they represent Toledo, we need to be strong together for Toledo. So give us a chance to keep this Y and build the new future Y. And I'm here to stand with you and put in the sweat equity and the financial support, and my husband's here as well. So we're making that commitment.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I am not a resident of South Toledo. I live in the old West End. But I think when a community building like the Y closes, or parks, or I see closed swimming pools around town, I think it hurts the greater Toledo area. If we want to attract people here, we have to have strong community organizations such as the Y. So I think it's not about we love our South Toledo Y. I think it's, you know, we love Toledo, a greater Toledo. And I do applaud you all for coming out here, but I just want to say, you know, we need to work on the whole community, and this is a vital part of it.
Thank you.
Doesn't sound good to me. It sounds like typical Toledo politics, and believe me, I've seen it all.
Yep. And I am definitely mad. I think we all have a right to be mad. The secrecy connected with the closing of this Y is a travesty. The lack of planning makes us think there's something wrong. And if all of us are mad, then maybe there's something we can do about it.
What's going to happen to this community if this does close?
I don't know. It's hard to tell, but it's certainly not going to adhere to any good things. It's going to be bad.
I've personally voted to approve $10 million of contracts with the YMCA. That's $10 million of your money. In addition to any dues you pay or any other tax dollars that go in. I mean, the Y is a community organization.
You wouldn't know.
Well, unfortunately, that's the case we're in right now. They're not acting like a community organization. You know, we want to work with the Y at the county level. We think a stronger YMCA serves the interests of our community. We're always talking about let's make Toledo a city where people want to live and where young families want to move and locate and livable neighborhoods and all this. And this is what the Y directly contributes to. Having a YMCA in your neighborhood keeps home values up. It keeps neighborhoods safer. It has more, you know, young families will move into the neighborhood because of a Y. To stand with you in this fight to keep this YMCA open, because it's the right thing to do for the neighborhood, and to see it move out under these circumstances is not acceptable. So.
There is a next step. The biggest and first step is for everyone that has a concern, whether it's a Y member or a community member. I mean, for better or worse, the community obviously directly around here has something to say. City officials are involved in this at some point. That opens it up for a community-wide discussion. All we've consistently called for is an open, forthright forum where everything can get on the table.
Keep the pressure up. Make the phone calls. Get the board of directors. Go on the website under the annual report. You can identify all the board members. Call them. Write them.
Many of you have sensed the bulldozer in the way this has been handled. You know, you announce something on a Sunday, deep in vacation time, with everyone lined up as a done deal. Please move along.
Stop them from moving so fast. We have to have a lot of people and, you know, make some noise.